Was paid about 2 years ago,
Okay.
and they've been living here, and I don't really.
So the house. So there's no mortgage on the house. There's no flood insurance on the house. Now, if you have to raise the house, what do you think is going to happen at that point?
Well, they're not going to be able to afford it.
Okay, and then what do you think will happen if they can't? If they're required to raise the home in Denham Springs, what do you think is most probably going to happen to this home?
This will be a ghost town.
This Denham Springs and this home. And your parents are good, hardworking, middle-class Americans, and they're senior citizens. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and this is 80% of Denham Springs was flooded. Is that correct?
That's my understanding.
90% of Denham Springs has been damaged. So this is probably happening. So everybody listening to this, the two things you need to worry about today is find out, A, is your home substantially damaged, and what is your town and FEMA going to require to do to a substantially damaged home? Secondly, what you want to ask is, if I'm in a flood zone, I'm required to have flood insurance. What is my actuary rate going to be in 4 or 5 or 6 years of my flood insurance? If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at StopFemaNow@gmail.com or www.stopfemanow.com or on Facebook, Stop Fema Now. Any last words, Eddie?
I do. The mayor here, I saw him on TV, and he said that it would probably be at least a year before they would even have any flood maps to even try to adopt or change things. So my question to anybody with authority would be, what is everybody supposed to do for a year?
That's correct. Like, how do you rebuild if you don't know at what height level? See, here's the problem that I foresee. A lot of people, if you and I didn't have this conversation, you'd try to put this house back together, and let's say you scrape the money to put the house back together, and then at some point, either your flood insurance here goes to $20,000 or $30,000 a year, or worse, you're required to raise your home. Then what happens? All the money and the time and the aggravation is for nothing, and that's what we're trying to get the word out.
It's a ghost town. I do have a couple of things that I would like to add to this, George.
Yes.
And this is just me. I'm not an engineer, but I've seen things over the course of years that change geography or topography. And the interstates are natural levees that they built. Then you have a lot of development so close. When it rains like it did, water is on concrete, so it's like just like a Niagara Falls, so to speak. It's going to go wherever the least resistance is. Then when it gets to the levee over here, which is called the interstate, it stops. Doesn't have anywhere to go except an underpass.
And railway lines too, also.
So this place is, this house right here is 42 feet above sea level, but the river is also 42 feet above sea level. So you can't say because we're 42 feet that it makes a difference. It doesn't, because of the river.
Right.
If it doesn't have anywhere to go, with all the logs in the river and narrowing the sandbars, and it's just going to go to the least resistance. That's water. So I don't know what people are going to be doing with all the money that this country gives these foreign countries, Sudan and all of those.
Iran.
They'll give them $1 billion like it's nothing.
Yep.
But the people who pay the taxes that they give that away have to struggle to get their life in order after an event like this. And we have no control over Mother Nature. Period.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Eddie. It was a pleasure. I finally got to meet you after almost 4 years. I told you I'd meet you, and I want that cup of coffee now. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you.
All right, brother.